So hello again to the second part. I stopped my phone before it stopped me, so that at least I can, not be interrupted in a very illogical way where you won't be able to understand where I'm coming from at the beginning of the other video. So the sun trining Pluto under the sun being squared by Saturn, this is very important because this is when we have that big determination to make that change, to get out of the comfort zone. This is where it is us personally who sees the comfort zone as the enemy. It says, no, 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 no. When comfort is hindering me, when comfort is taking away my clear judgment, then no, I'll get dirty, I'll do anything it takes, but I'm working with that which I'm creating, doing, changing, working on healing, processing in my life right now. So this is like a determination that I'm actually serious about it. And whatever that Sun square Saturn, the reality check, the hard to face truth or the scarcity, the business not working, how am I gonna handle my financial situation? This type of reality, this is where we take this constructively, and it is not gonna cause the Uranian type of anxiety and panic attack. But this is where, well, it's okay. I can cut out so very many things from my life if I provoke. I can return to minimalistic living, but then I have the power. And then I can do something with that power. And if I get a bit crazy, but of course, this is like an example when I say I am that random person in the world who's influenced by the aspects. So let's say if I get crazy, and this North Node in Taurus, who will very soon meet Uranus in the sky, will add this insanity into me that I am perfectly able to go to a rural place and have a small garden of my own, and I might not need as much work and finances, and I can just give up on so very many luxury things, discos, clubs, absurd holidays, friends who should never been in my life in the first place, dating sites, internet, and the dark side of the internet really, and just see what existence is truly about without all of that, because ultimately all someone needs to survive is water, a bit of food, and sanity, because the rest nature gives us, and we are not living in, I don't know, Antarctica, where it's very, very hard, but fortunately none of us are there. So if someone decides that they can actually survive that way, and that sounds like a really great adventure to them, and it's even liberating, it's even a tiny bit spiritual, but it's even healthy, and it's even, you definitely want to include that in this incarnation, you can imagine what a big life change the financial scarcity has led the person to do. A total self-discovery. This is where, well, one way how to fix my financial situation is to just allow it to fall and somehow take this insane adventure in a kind of lifestyle which, even though is very new to me, it feels so natural, where I just know what to do without even anyone showing it to. This is where something inside of me is more intelligent than my brain or my mental function. This is when someone discovers nature gifts within themselves. And this will happen to a lot of people. Why? Well, because we also have this Venus in the sign of Aries, which means when Venus is irritated by something, in Aries she does a gesture quickly. So when someone sees that, how easy it would be to just shed off the excesses, and by this I don't mean donating objects to charity, terminating contracts. Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Every air sign has a little bit to do with verbal agreement, if you know what I mean. Okay, Aquarius and Gemini may not necessarily be typical embodiments of an existing contract, but Libra would. But still, Gemini is pre-contract, negotiating the contract, and Aquarius is after the contract, what the contract did in your life for you personally. And why contract? Because verbal agreement, job, career, anything that has to do with financial life is based on agreement. No one is in a real way forcing it on you, because if they are, that's Scorpio already, criminality. So what I mean is, this will be a profound reevaluation of everything that you give power to Pluto, what you do with your power. And for a lot of people, this Pluto had to go back to the basics. Like, you know what? Forget modern life, because the kind of truth that you're seeking is actually out in nature, in a more rural community, in a simple community, in the simple aspects in life. Because in that simple rural community, you can be the Picasso. If you know how to paint, who will appreciate it? Your neighbors, your friends, that person at the end of the village, the other person at the middle of the village, or whatever community it is. If you want to be a Picasso, if you want to be something, then this North Node invites us to do it in the simplicity. You are the better professional if you do it out of love with simple people in a simple, small way. Their appreciation is much more honey than those of the many, if you know what I mean. And this is ultimately what this energy is alchemizing inside of us and boiling this cocktail of inner revolution. Some people already made this step, where they gave up the norm, the average, that which kind of already started hindering them. Yes, some people gave up the rural life and they bravely started their very own business. But that was the North Node for them. For them, that North Node was, you're finally ready, go and do it, go and conquer. Go conquer new ground, because nature does not help you anymore, you outgrown it. While for other people, you need to heal a part of yourself that was starved, return to nature, because you lived the other glory days. And you know, every person will get into their own frequency and they will find their own comfort and normality. That's why right now, as I said at the beginning of this horoscope, it is under this aspect when we can actually, us, believe it or not, turn against comfort and laziness. And that says a lot, because we usually do the opposite. We find excuses, and we, as soon as comfort and laziness is wounded a little bit by life, we put on the bandage on it. We heal it. A new computer, new pizza, takeaway, this food, that food. Let's get new boyfriend, let's get this and that. We compensate it. Oh, laziness, I hurt you. So this is also where the shadow reveals itself, because the shadow is being upgraded as well. The shadow wants to go back to simplicity as well. And what is the Taurus expression of the shadow? Because the Scorpio, we know, a demon can grow into an infinitely complex and intelligent dark being and take over everything, lives, souls, whatever. But a simple shadow is our protector. Like, why am I there and why am I shadowy? To bite and bark at your offenders, if you know what I mean. Either spiritually, physically, socially, on social media. The shadow resumes its real function, and that's healthy. Everything becomes healthy, and everything that cannot become healthy dies, the tumor. Exactly where I was going. The scorpionic expression of the tumor is going to be removed. For some people, it's just the moment when they see the tumor, I don't know how they call it in medical industry, where the scopes, the revelation of the tumor, basically. For some people it's going to be that, but for other people it is when they already are waking after the no tumor anymore. You're okay already. So this eclipse this week is going to be extra special. And then a very powerful energy shift is that the sun is entering into the sign of Gemini. Usually a very, very positive, very, very juvenile, very, very light-hearted, adolescent, celebratory energy. But, it's an eclipse, so I don't know how much we are gonna be feeling the childish vibes of this. Because don't get me wrong, even if you're feeling it, chances are under an eclipse we're gonna actually alchemize it and not live it out to the fullest. This is where instead of sending that good joke to your best friend, you just send a thank you, I'm happy that you're part of my life kind of thing. This is what I mean. Because every Gemini, especially those who are over 30, were so transformed in 2019, 2020, 2021 that they don't even recognize themselves. They're not that adolescent who they were, the terriblest, the Uranian, the Aquarian adolescent. Right now, they're the adolescent who is like the exemplary figure, the kind of adolescent who even adults bow to. This is how deeply the stars themselves and this Plutonian energy in Gemini's 8th house, if I'm not if I'm not imagining things, yeah, that Saturn Pluto conjunction there changed and matured every Gemini to like true gateways to maturity, because the big change is that Geminis now no longer tolerate the fakeness of someone's ego. This is where they just say the truth, because that is the ultimate. That is why Geminis will always end up in misunderstandings, lies, gossips, for them to be able to discern that their biggest karmic duty is to say the truth. Because why is Gemini compatible with almost everyone, verbally at least, as a friend, as an acquaintance? Because no one would take the truth offensively from a Gemini, with the condition if the Gemini plays its more spiritual side. Even if Gemini is not the typical spiritualist, but if a Gemini does embody a bit of spirituality, even if it's the basic one, the Gemini friend is a churchgoer, not the fanatic churchgoer, of course, but the moral churchgoer. That's already a big plus. That already says on the Gemini not judgmental person. And if I tell you the raw, naked truth to your face, I am actually being your friend. This is what this energy has done to Geminis out there. And this energy has done this to every sign out there. And I will try to include more of this in my future horoscopes. What the Saturn and Pluto conjunction has done to signs already. Because it's one thing to predict, another thing to observe and see, well, this is what it has done. Because, signs write to astrologers. Everyone has a sun sign. And we see, oh, this person was like this before 2020 and it's like this after 2020. What a powerful transformation. And the transformations that I have seen until now, 5% are almost positive. I can only say good things about what that person, every person has done with their lives. I only have very, very few anti-examples. What a big blessing that is. But anyway, another aspect, the sun immediately after it enters the sign of Gemini, it holds a conjunction with Mercury. That is a powerful moment of clarity, because this is Mercury retrograde, and this is that moment when the goals, the list for this Mercury retrograde season, redo this, finish doing this, even physically, clean the attic or the shed which you have never cleaned in 10 years. This is where you do the list, and because of this Plutonic empowerment, you will do the list. Going with the flow, of course, but the list by the end of this Mercury retrograde period will be crossed out, so completion. For some people it will be very heavy, like contacting that, I don't know, sibling who I haven't spoken to in 10 years. For other people, the investigative side of Mercury retrograde, the orphan going to a private detective, Scorpio eclipse, Scorpio detective, and tracking down their biological parents. Life-changing investigative energies. And under Mercury retrograde, yes, it took this many years for this moment to come, for you to actually get off your butt and execute this. even if it's a big thing like, as I said, tracking down your parents. But imagine the small things like just paying that bill, making sure that the financial situation or the accounting is correct, etc. So the small things can be that much easier, and this trine to Pluto, okay, go and do it. It also favors laziness, the trine with Pluto, don't get me wrong. It gives you whatever it is that you desire, Pluto power. But I do imagine that under an eclipse, everyone is wise enough not to wish laziness and excessive comfort for themselves. Just not to be there, to be phased out. No. This is where, even if you're phased out because you're there. Because you are in your phase, if you know what I mean. And, this energy is profoundly transformative, but in a way where it tells our senses this is not the hidden enigma mystery, because Scorpio, this is when the mystery is spilled out. And there are a lot of outer sign sextiles in the sky. So this is when that Mars and Neptune and even Pluto holds outer sign sextiles with other planets, for example, Jupiter and Mercury being one of them. And outer sign sextiles is that the past was already processed, and you're literally seeing the past building the future before your eyes, with the condition of the sextile that you cooperate, that you put in the work, that you put in the faith, that you put in the willingness to believe that yes, it's you, yes, you are doing good things in your life, that yes, you haven't fallen back to the old pattern, that yes, it is you having courage and speaking up for yourself, that yes, you're an introvert and you can fight your own battles with great ease. Being extrovert for an introvert when moment needs it does not have to be hard, with wisdom, because wisdom is what gives you the courage. And another very strong energy in the sky, Ceres, goddess of nurture, of grain, basically Demetra, meeting Black Moon Lilith in the sky. What an unusual meeting in the sign of Cancer. Both female aspects. We can almost say symbolically that Lilith can very well be the shadow, the dark side, the total opposite of Demetra. If we look at Lilith's lowest expression, even in mythology, the bad mythology, the fake lie kind of mythology, not the authentic one. But still, even fakeness, even the deception speaks volumes. She eats children, the jealousy, the refusal to be Adam's wife, okay. But the fact that she accomplished it means that the divine source was her greatest fan. And these two opposites of each other meet in harmony, actually, Cancer. There is the, how should I say, the mother who suffocates you with love. There is that mother who suffocates you with in strictness, as in she forces you to be individualistic. She strives you from the maternal affection, but in your greater good. Lilith, this is how she handles maternity. There is Ceres, who handles maternity in a way that I'm everything for my child. I make a shell, a bubble for my child until my last breath. Neither of them is good, but imagine when they meet, when they share experience. They get into an equilibrium. Lilith will teach the Cancer Lilith will teach Cancer Ceres Demetra how to be a bit tougher as a mother, how not to suffocate, how to just trust the child. And Demetra needs that lesson, because what is her specific? Persephone. She suffered so much that she lost her daughter, that she almost destroyed symbolically the cycles of nature, eternal winter, if you know what I mean. So Ceres herself already had this lesson. Lilith herself reminds Ceres of this, that she needs balance. She's 4 cycles. When Persephone is in hell and with Hades, well, they're having a good time and she can just chill out and relax and mind her own business. But Ceres herself teaches Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, well, if you want your children to live and die for you and not revolt against you and not question you and not to be like monsters, feed them with love. Let love and affection be the reward, and they will do everything for you. So, where I'm going with this symbolic nonsense is that for a lot of females, Cancer, this will be a moment of strong healing when their maternity reaches the healthy expression. Neither this, neither that, but trust yourself as a mother. You don't need to read 10 books. You don't need to listen to YouTube channels. You don't need to listen even, and I'm sorry for doing this, because I know a lot of people will not agree. Don't even listen to psychologists. Why? Nature made you a mother. It's in, listen to your genes. What you are as a mother, just do it. Because even maternity is karmic in a sense. You are the type of mother you are for a reason, because that is what your child needs you. Listen to other people more than it's healthy. Maybe it is then when you get things wrong. Children are not the same. Souls are not the same. Some children have to be problematic. If you do everything in your power to stop them from being a problem child, you don't know what you do with their destinies, if you know what I mean. Sometimes chaos, sometimes unhealthy, sometimes ADHD, sometimes problem child, sometimes bad alcoholic parents even. The verse of the verse, everything that we need to block out as a society. Well, we haven't managed to block it out yet. So that means the universe can use it as a tool. And it will. When we block it out, it can't anymore. But when we block it out, we tell the universe, as a species, we are no longer like that. We are no longer bad parents here. So you don't need to use this aspect of ours. And it will say, I'm so happy you said that. So, this is the evolutionary purpose of astrology. Because this is the evolutionary intent of this meeting of Lilith and Ceres. Yet, we won't live it immediately. That mother, that female, will live it in 3 years. And in 10 years will be when their child will tell them what a good mother you were. So that will be the moment of the final harvest series. But this energy will teach a lot of people instinctually, Lilith. But also, if that instinct is translated through your own inner work and inner research to why and how, that you make yourself your own psychologist. That is wisdom. That is your own research. There you are, a little scientist, a little Freud yourself, and a mother, and understanding your instincts and going with their flow. You just grow as a flower. You heal yourself. You become a true mother by this. And this is how you help other mothers. Because many mothers don't need the psychologist to tell them what to do. They need the neighbor, they need the friend, they need a friend of the friend, they need that real person who went through this. And isn't it funny that starting from the 2000s, at least in my culture, society attacked this. It attacked the holistic approach, the traditional, because they killed this, no disinfectant, no this, no that. Of course, we have to judge rationally. Of course, it is that neighbor, it is that best friend, it is whoever who can embody the small role of a guide. They can just share their experiences because they are mothers themselves. When there is a big problem, of course, even your maternal guide, if that makes sense, your fellow, your neighbor, the neighbor mother, the neighbor woman, someone will tell you, listen, we have to go to a specialist because this is that case. But when everyone says, well, it's natural, my child was like that too, then of course you calm down. You don't need to make all that fuss and paranoia yourself. Make judgment for yourself. And it is this astrological aspect which actually how should I say, snaps certain mothers back into reality. That you don't need mother nature made you a mother through your instincts. For some it's harder, for others it's more easier, but it's in everyone, you know. So you can truly trust yourself as a mother. Just trust, go with the flow, Cancer. And for a lot of mothers this will be a lot of equilibrium. Last but not least, Vesta, the asteroid Vesta, goddess of the sacred flame, will be at an energetic degree of the sign of Aquarius. And this is also very, very interesting and powerful, because this will be, for a lot of people, the friend Aquarius, social connections. Let's just say that it's the friend. And why am I focusing on friend? Because the sun is in Gemini as well. You know, the sun illuminates the friend area. And that friend who really, really was your biggest friend and was your fan from the shadows will show themselves, whoever that is. This energetic Vesta will reveal the true sacredness in someone's life, especially when it's that acquaintance. It's that stranger who is not really a stranger, because that we know each other, but there is some kind of shyness between. When you know that special person, that special friend, that special Muse Vesta, the sacred, the pure friend, will reveal themselves in your life. Some who you knew for years, but you had no idea how truly pure that person's soul is, or how truly connected you two of you can get. While for others, it is where, surprise, surprise, energetic Vesta. Maybe you are such a unique person, Aquarius, that it takes an even more unique person for the universe to reflect back how you truly are. So this is going to be a very, very alchemical, magical, paranormal, supernatural week from very many different perspectives, but we'll all be washed over by this one way or another. I do hope that most people, in a happy sense, tears of release, forgiveness, joy, gratitude. But even if it's like something not so pleasant like a loss, remember, this is where you're really losing whatever you're losing, that's the tumor in your life. And sometimes the tumor is dressed in gold. Sometimes the tumor is dressed in jewelry, clothes. Sometimes the tumor is dressed in that best friend who always licks your ego. This is where it is the aspect of the tumor that will shock us, not necessarily the tumor itself, because we all feel the tumor in there. So this is what the eclipse will do. And on the world stage, I'm gonna be totally honest, I have no clue, but I know it's gonna be dirty. Yes, sewage, karmic sewage. It is gonna be secrets, it's gonna be world leaders or the rich and powerful, the really famous, what they're really doing. But I'm not curious really about that. So let's all be, wise. Because as I said, Scorpio, the antidote to Scorpio is Sagittarius, the centaur. All of us, everyone who listens to this channel at least, is a Chiron in their lives. Because you're not listening to my work for yourself. You're listening to my work so that you can be the healer of someone else in your life. That relative, that friend, that total stranger. But you're actually listening to astrology right now because you want to be the healer. Yes, the unofficial healer, but that makes you even more like a Chiron. So anyway, thank you so much for everyone, and again, I am so grateful for all the love and all the comments and for all the beautiful messages, and I just can't believe that is me, because I have been hiding all my life in the shadows. I did help, I did practice this all my life, but only the friend of a friend of a friend, the relative of the friend. I know that guy who can help you, but I never actually put something out there. And for people to have such a reaction, it's too big, way bigger than me. I just, right now, I may not be able to respond to all of the comments and to show my true appreciation because this is so big for me. I just can barely process it. It's the love that I find it almost impossible to believe that it's there. So I'm so sorry that I cannot be more loving, or I don't know how to show my gratitude. So please give me a bit of time. And if you'd like to support me, by now you know what to do. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who reached out, for all the messages, for all the love. Thank you so very much. So until next time, bye for now.